Okay, assalamu alaikum everyone. So yeah, a lot of days after, so I returned uh, with my video for this channel. So basically, what I'm going to share with you guys today is that what things you should prepare for your slides content before you share it with your potential PhD supervisor, so that you can easily show it with your supervisor during uh, meeting with your professor. So before making the video, I have also discussed with some of the PhD students, professionals, and also I have attended a couple of interviews with different professors as well. So basically, this is the slide that this type of slide content you can share. So let's start discussing about it, about the content, like what things you can add, what things you can continue on the content of your slides. Okay. So basically, in this slide, you can give a title and then your name, or you may add a date, and then it comes to your like academic background or relevant coursework. So as you can see that you can add your school and college results, or uh, your university, your degree, like maybe computer science engineering or any other degree, then your CGPA or about your university. You can add those things. You can add then relevant coursework like artificial intelligence, machine learning, database systems, software engineering, and then it comes to your academic focus, like that maybe AI, machine learning, robotics, or anything you can add. And you have your research highlight, right? So if you have any publication, you can also highlight it here. When you prepare this slide, remember one thing that relevant courses work is fine. You can add this, but when you add academic focus, please try to focus on the professor's current work or professor's research interest. The area currently professor is doing his research on the domain professor is focusing. So if the professor is working with AI and machine learning, you can put it in the app and relevant things here in this list. If the professor is working with robotics, okay, so and you also want to work with robotics, then you put this type of things, robotics in the top, and then you can um, bring all the things here in the slide content. So let's move to the next slide. So this is about your professional experiences. So you can add any professional experiences after your graduation. Um, so if you have worked as a software engineer in a company, then maybe a business analyst, or you may work as a research intern, or maybe a student tutor, or you work with as a faculty member, research assistant in any particular university. So you can add all your experiences in this slide. Then moving forward, let's you can start discussing about your research work that you have done. If you have any particular journal publication, so you can add it. You can add the title, which when you have published your paper, maybe IEEE or Nature Scientific Report, anything. And then in this particular project, what was your research problem proposed? So what was the proposed solution? Your key contributions, all of these things you can add, or relevant pictures from this particular research, like what particular picture purely fully focused on this research, so that one or two picture can demonstrate or can just bring all the gist story of your research. You can easily pick it. Okay, so then you can move on with your another research, and then like this work is based on machine learning, so you can add it. Okay, like your research goal, methodology, key contribution. And if you have published it, then you can also write it, or if it is your ongoing research, you can also write it here. Then maybe another research like this one, maybe you see that radio frequency interference or related things. So you write all those things like your research objective, research focus, expected outcome, what was your expected outcome, all of those things. But remember one thing: when you have added two or three of your research here, so if your professor is currently working with assume like image processing, right? So you want to do your research on this field, and you want to um, catch this professor as your potential supervisor, potential PhD supervisor. So you need to add the things. You need to show your work which is more closely aligned with the professor, right? So in this case, if your professor is currently working with image processing or maybe computer vision, okay, so in this case, you add this thing, image processing related your work, you add in the very first of your research highlight. Okay, so in this way you can discuss it, and professor will be much more attracted on your work because this work very much closely aligns with professor's current work and professor's research interest. Okay, and if your professor is and if you have any other work related to computer vision or image processing, then you add the another work here, so that demonstrating two or more similar project work that currently your potential supervisor is working, right? So that your work and professor's work aligns with each other. So in this way, professor, what happened, that professor will be able to judge your work. Professor will see that how your experience can be valuable in his lab, how your work is much more aligned with his current work. So basically how you can bring value if he's gonna supervise you for PhD position, right? So remember this particular thing, and whenever you are presenting to your professor, professor may stop you in the middle or maybe in the end, and then start asking, like suppose in this case, in this particular project, suppose professors currently working on assume let's say machine learning, and you put it on the top, and then you started describing what you have done in this project. So professor may ask you that uh, like what you are actually doing in this project, what was the core problem, how you have formulated the problem, what particular approach you have taken to solve the problem, what technology you have used to solve this problem, and how, like here you have added that knowledge graph, right? So how knowledge graph is bringing value to solve the problem, why differential privacy, why explainable AI you have used, what is their role in this particular solution when you are building a solution to a problem you are approaching, right? So in this way, professor can ask you, professor will ask you question to judge you about the experience, about your experience regarding that particular research, whatever you have done, and you just simply explain those. Okay, so you don't not to be worried that professor will go in depth and ask many more in depth questions. So you may not able to answer. That's, I think, not gonna happen in most of the cases. Professor will just ask you simple question just to evaluate your expertise, whether how in depth you have worked, how you closely um, worked on this particular cases, particular problem solving approaches. How do you handle the problem? How do you think it is a problem? How you have worked methodologies? Basically, he will evaluate your experience here, okay, and overall the activity you have done. He will question this type of uh, question to you. He will ask, okay, and yeah. So after you have done a couple of your projects related to your professor, then it comes to like why this particular university and why this particular professor. So you can say that why Auckland University, because this strong research environment in computer science or opportunity to work on AI and supportive environment, you can add this. And also like this particular professor why this particular professor's lab. So you can then say that his research strongly aligns with your research interests like trustworthy AI, machine learning. In this way, you can add. Okay, and yeah, so then you can see how it is described here. I don't want to read the things. And then lastly, you add your goal, that trustworthy AI, efficient AI uh, at the age. So basically, the same thing you have to do here is that professors' current work or professors' research interest need to be closely aligned with your research interest. Okay, suppose professor is currently working on machine learning AI, so you can, if you want to work with those, and then you can edit. Okay, like you also want to work with reliable and communication efficient ML or AI systems. Okay, and professor may have another other works like signal processing, maybe NLP, and you may not want to work on NLP, natural language processing, or the signal processing. Your particular interest on suppose trusted the AI, machine learning. So in this case, you simply you can say that I have done these projects, and I have this type of experience which is similar to this, and I am very much interested in working with machine learning AI systems. Okay, so in this way you can say you don't need to like work all the things that professor is currently working. Professors may work on like what I have said. Just he may like signal processing. He may work on natural language processing. He may work on AI. So if you want to work with AI and machine learning, so you just add it that you work on this, and then I have brought you this type of similar experiences, previous work, or maybe publication. So publication, yeah. And then you just can describe it. Okay, so in this way, uh, lastly, you can add a thank you slide. So remember one thing, that in the middle of your presentation or in the end of your presentation, professor will ask you a question. Okay, regarding the projects you have done, regarding how you have tried to uh, how you what was your approach regarding solving the problem, how you have tried to attempt it, what particular key findings you have done. Okay, so that professor can judge you about your expertise in this particular domain. But you don't need to worry. Usually professors will ask you simple questions. Just try to be very much confident and be prepared. Suppose if you are saying that your interest is on AI and machine learning, so it is very much natural that professor will stop you in this slide and he will ask you question on this particular project. So try to be very much aware, and before attending the uh, meeting with professor, go through all the like key architecture of whatever you have done in your project. Go through the coding so that you can easily ask some of the technical questions. But you don't need to worry that professor on go usually they don't go through in depth very much, so that you become nervous. And even if you can't answer some of the question, you simply say that I don't know, but I want to learn more in future, or you just simply say that right now I can't remember that how that things happen. So remember one thing, that confidence is very much important. Don't be nervous. Don't hesitate during the interview. Okay, that my don't think in a negative way that your profile is not good. The professor may not like you. Don't never think in this way. So stay confident. Stay happy mode. Stay in a happy mode. Okay, and then hopefully everything will be fine. So yeah. So thank you. Thank you.